Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid. We're jumping back into our game with early age Yomi. It's turn 37. And, yeah. So, let's see what the hell we have going on over here. We have been casting Arcane Probing, did not find anything. Black Servant, nice. We're getting Daitengu. We'll go check out Daitengu. And then Tar Pits. And then we have some battles. We'll go watch these and then we'll kind of go browse around here. So we just kill some villains, not worth watching. We kill a few PD with, or we kill a few light raiders with our Dione. And then we have a big battle here with Formoria, where we are going inside the fort. And he's got a few little guys. This guy's scripted to retreat. You never want to retreat inside a fort, because you automatically die. And then a few giants. This is probably going to be no contest. We've got 3 Dione going in. And this will be... I mean, this is kind of a pretty solid little Dione script we have. We've got one guy who's got a fair amount of reinvigoration, 6 with better armor so he doesn't have encumbrance. He's given himself Iron Skin so he's not going to take damage and Earth Power. And he is going to just blast out skeletons. And a lot of times when you do skelly spam, you're going to have a lot of people spamming it out. But having one really good caster is often about as good as having like 6 or 7 not good casters. So definitely something to consider with your death random Dione. Like you can see, our other guys aren't even going to get to do much. Oh, we've got two casters, excuse me. Yeah. So like this guy, his fatigue's 41 and he has been casting Horde of Skeleton every single turn so far. This guy who does not have quite as much reinvigoration, he's got 71 fatigue. This guy's still 47. So my Dione's not going to get to do much up here in the front line. Yeah, so that's two guys worth. Now at the end of the battle, this guy... Oh, did our fatigue go out away? Yeah, I guess it did. Anyway, we've taken that fort now. So, this is kind of irreparable damage to Formoria. Now, it's possible he gets his god back. I don't think he has enough preaching power to get it back. But I'm sure that's all his guys are doing, is sitting around and preaching. And we did chop off an arm or some other kind of business. But we're going to go ahead and drive the nail in the coffin here. We've got a big... unrest-causing demon horde, and you can see they cause 72 unrest just from visiting. And so this is a kind of cool mechanic. As you have big armies of demons moving around, it's going to render the land basically unusable in their path. If it's enemy land, it will render it unusable, which is useful, but also it will give you chaos power if you ever backtrack into it. So, kind of a cool feature you can use. And yeah, I think that's about it. So the goal is now to finish him off quickly, and hopefully we crack it this turn, and then we're moving our Skelly Spammers over that way. We're site searching here with Tylus, but Alluvium and Senshi are coming down here to meet up with these 2 Dione. And yeah, then we're gonna blast our way through his fort. We may be able to crack it this turn. It's got 500 wall integrity. Our siege strength here is 360. We've already been on top of it for 66, so it'll probably take one more turn. But we'll go ahead and see. Tar Pits. Where are we getting our Daitengu? I think they're down here. Where's our Daitengu? Go to Commander. Okay, they're up here. So when you cast Summon Daitengu, you get one of these guys, who is Air 3, Earth 1, Nature 1, and Holy 2. Holy 2 is somewhat important because these are your highest priests that you can easily get, and putting a Crystal Matrix on them, which is something that you kind of want to do anyway, will get them up to Holy 3. It used to be you could put a Crystal Shield, but now you kind of have to do the Crystal Matrix. That you can do a Crystal Matrix and a Crystal Shield, but you need those paths, which we were very fortunate to walk into with some indies. Okay, so we are moving out here, and we're going to hop on top of their camp with these guys too. So These have a fair amount of siege strength. It's not the full 110, because a lot of this is like these guys in of themselves are 5, and then this is a fair amount. But this will be probably like 60 or 70, so there's a small chance we one-turn crack it this turn. We're going to go for it, but basically summon air elementals, which will occupy their back lines while hopefully all my guys swarm through the gates. The one thing I don't want is if you're bringing numbers to the fight, you don't want to have your guys all jammed up in the gate. They still can be, but summoning air elementals will help a little bit. We are also moving in 2 of our most expert Dione, who, once you take care, and I really want to emphasize this, once you take care of their horrible freaking armor, and their armor doesn't look as horrible as it is, but it's very, very, very bad. But once you take care of it, you get low encumbrance, you get high map move, and these guys are extremely mobile. They come built in with snow move, they come built in with, which are the survivals? I think they have mountain survival built in. Yeah. So anyway, they're going to be able to make it all the way down here. And what's going to be important about them is they can jump to the back line with the air elementals and kill whatever's back there. So that's basically the plan. Don't know how it will go. But yeah, I think that's it. Let's go ahead for research. Oh, we'll do score graphs. I think I had said last turn we'll do score graphs, and we didn't do it. So here's provinces. We basically had an okay expansion, except for, well, I had a really bad one. I really should have been farther up here, but you can see I did nothing for like 5 turns. Which, by the way, if I manage to win this, and I win it after having like a 5-turn 0 expansion, that will be freaking hilarious. Anyway, so we site searched. This is kind of when we ran into Formoria. This is when we took Formoria's lands, and then we're kind of getting bounced around a little bit here as he takes some of them back. But then we're kind of pressuring him back in. And then around here, not exactly sure where, we kill his god. So, like right around here, and then that allows us to kind of move in and take even more. For forts, we're getting there. I think, what was this? How did my fort thing go down? Oh, this was handing them over to Lanka, and then Lanka giving them back to me as better versions. Income, you can see neither one of us are rich. We're both kind of poor, is the short summary of that one. Gym income, this is just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, this is some of my best site searching ever in terms of gym income, so can't complain there. In terms of research, Lanka and I are about the same. We'll go see what that is real quick. We're about 480, 490 a turn, which is not bad for Yomi at turn 37. It's not good for turn 37, but for Yomi, it's not horrible. If you went magic scales, Yomi, you could crank out more of your crappy little mages and be less reliant on boosters. Definitely a possibility. Dominion, our Dominion's continuing to grow army size. You can see this is when Lanka lost his big force, but otherwise we've basically been growing in army size. Lanka especially, as he's getting his blood economy going and he needs chaff to patrol. So that's basically a short summary of the score graph so far. And I think we're going to go ahead and go to next turn, which will be turn 38. Okay. And we have a message from Agartha. That sounds reasonable to me. Just let me know if Abyssia attacks you, and I'll let you go through the moon. So I don't know if I covered that. We'll talk about it real quick. I had asked Agartha passage on the northern moon to get to Abyssia. Because he and Abyssia had been fighting. We didn't really talk about it. He and Abyssia, let's go just zoom up here. He and Abyssia had been fighting, and they managed to have a very valiant defense against Abyssia and Rus. And I think a lot of it actually had to do with Hinnom, and Hinnom came in all the way from down here. See a big Hinnom army. And so what I think Agartha is going to try to do is to help Hinnom out. I think Hinnom is down here on this planet. So Agartha is probably going to come down here and either kind of attack the underwater nations, or help Hinnom expand out and take over this world. And It is a bit of a logistics nightmare, as this whole map is, because he's got to funnel things from his capital all the way over here. The nice thing about Agartha is they have a lot of summons, which they can do with any mage in any province. So if he gets a little summon factory set up down here on this planet, he might be able to really help Agartha out and potentially even take over some of the underwater systems. But taking over this moon wouldn't be a horrible idea either. And like maybe that would be a more reasonable objective. It wouldn't really help Agartha. I mean, not Agartha, Hinnom, but they're kind of making peace, but they were wondering if I can attack them. And the thing, we need to talk about Abyssia for a little bit. So Abyssia, so we can see they have an Ozzy who's I think it's a dragon type pretender, but Abyssia is probably better suited to counter either of us than any other nation on this board. And that is because they have spammable, high-quality assassins that can, and they have the ability to hold Holy Scourges. And that, in and of itself, can just completely debilitate our armies. So, that's kind of what we have to start preparing for as we get ready to attack. And it means we need... It's basically impossible to be immune to Holy Scourges, but we can be resistant to them. And so that's all we're going to go for here. So that was, okay, the message from Agartha. We claimed one of the thrones, or Lanka did. I think this was a magic phase attack, and he's jumping on top of Formoria's little underwater fort. Okay, and he did not get an affliction, but he took a fair amount of damage there. Coming down here, we are attacking the Forest Knights. Forest of Long Nights, and we're trying to get positioning on this guy to see if we can enslave him. I don't think we can. He's a little too far back, and the slaves are not gonna... I think in the vanilla game they'll follow you, but for Lucid's thematic gym gen I had to disable slave movement, so they won't move forward with you. So we're not going to be able to get this guy, I think it's the short summary. Okay. Did they... Okay, the Independence won. Let's actually watch that. I don't think I've really seen Spine Devils very often. Huh. That's kind of cool. These are not bad. 25 HP, 2 magic damage attacks. Let's see how you summon them. That doesn't look like a bad summon. These are... Do they have any resistances? Dark Vision? Poison Barbs? And the poison kind of doing its thing here. I mean, not horrible. They don't have armor, so they're not going to get too much of a benefit from things like Army of Gold compared to if they had armor. Okay, and then... Oh, that was what we were just watching. Let's look at that spell real quick. Bind Spine Devils. Oh, you have to get them one at a time. Okay, so it's probably not ever really going to be worth it. But with the Blood 2 Mage, you could get them one at a time. Eh. I really hate getting things one at a time. They have to be really good to justify it, and Spine Devils clearly do not cross that threshold. Okay. We did it, guys. We one turn popped Formoria, and so we're going to waltz right on in. We don't know when his god's going to be back, but the longer we wait outside, the more likely that is to happen. And we are so confident we're not even going to send Jojek in. Jojek is going to walk down here and take out these Indies. The group we're sending in are these guys. Basically, and if I was worried, I could send these guys inside too and just leave the guys at like their little Oni outside and have them skelly spam, but I think we have enough. We've got a Horde of Skeletons caster, we've got one of our air randoms, Satano, and he is going to do basically Blessing Iron Skin, Legions of Steel, Flight, and then jump to the back, and then this guy's going to do the same thing, but without the Legions of Steel. And then this guy is going to be doing Horde of Skeletons, and then we're summoning air elementals here. So, yeah, I think that's basically it. We'll see how that goes. And I think we're going to go ahead and pull up the next turn as well, because I do want to keep things moving. And in terms of research, we're heading for Enchantment 6. That is going to open up, well, actually, not too much. It's going to open up Rigor Mortis if we need to do it. What else do I have down here to enchant 6? Eternal Pyre, which is something we can cast with our god, which would be really good. And we probably will cast it almost right away. I should be able to cast it next turn. We will have it done, yeah, next turn. So it's probably something we'll be casting. After that, we're going to head up to Alt 7, which will give us... I probably only need to go to Alt 6, but I really want Fog Warriors, which is at Alt 7. So I think we're going to do that because that will let us, I think, more easily win our next important fight. But if we were just going for economy, we'd probably head down to Enchantment 7, which would give us Earthblood Deepwell. So I think that is it. We're basically going to storm. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn, which will be turn 39. And also, one thing I probably should have said at the beginning is that the time between the recording of last one and the recording of this one has been many months. I've kind of gotten behind on this series as other games have been popping up. So I'm kind of coming back and redoing it. So my memory is not going to be quite as great of kind of what state of mind I was in at the time, but I will do the best I can. Okay, so Lanka's going to kill those guys. We're casting Arcane Probing. We found Painted Cave, which is nice. Yeah, Astral 1. Cave of Passing Times. This is Astral Death, I think. Or no, Astral Earth. And then... Nice. Okay, so we found some more sites. We have a battle... Okay, we're site searching here, not finding anything. But undeterred, we will continue. Okay, that's just the Spine Devils. Okay, and here's the storming of Yomi's fort. So, his god is indeed back. But it probably got back this turn, because it has no items. And I'm sure he would have put items on it. It probably got back, and then boom, we stormed. So if we waited one more turn, and we didn't... I think if the difference was we had these troops that were up at that other fort that we flew in. If we didn't fly them in, we probably wouldn't have one turn cracked it. And if we didn't one turn crack it, then we'd have to fight this guy again with full gear. And him with gear and him without gear are very, very different animals. He doesn't have blood slaves either, so he can't do his hell power business. So I think that's way different. Now they have some people that are probably going to be doing some kind of Horde of Skeletons or Reanimate Dead. They've got a Formorian King here, and then I think these are just Formorian Giants. Nothing too fancy. I don't see a lot of gems. A lot of times if you're defending your capital, you just want to put all your gems on your mages and just let them go buck wild, even if it's just for fatigue reduction. And our wolves are forming a nice little screen running through. We have lifelong protections, which are on our 2 air randoms, and they're also going to help kind of distract. And these air elementals, jumping all the way to the back, are going to cause quite a row. Though air elementals are the kind of thing that are much better in higher numbers. Okay, and our guys are still buffing up. Okay, the air elementals are also clearing out this front line in the walls. Okay, here come our Dionians. So this is Satano, one of our air-empowered guys. Okay, and we have Home Slice here, Aremia. And he's got Skelly Spam of his own, but my Skelly Spam I expect is going to be much stronger, though it's going to take a while to kind of catch up. You can see the imps are building up. Our undead is starting to get there. The air elementals are kind of running around. His guys are trying to retreat. What does this pretender have? It's got a chest wound. Personal regen. Elemental fortitude. I don't know what else it did. I wasn't really watching, but he's not going to be that much of a threat, to be honest. We needed to send our air guys in so that if it came down to it, and we had to kind of man-fight this guy, because in theory, if he spawned the turn we went over on top, like if he spawned one turn before, we might not have been able to see it. And then, yeah, he could have attacked us. So, anyway, with that, that is the fall of Formoria. We have finally put to rest, for a long sleep, the Duayu of War, and all of his steadfast companions. So, anyway, that is that. In terms of events, we got water gems, nature gems, we got a lab, some more gems, a stone sphere, which I don't think I actually am going to use much this game, though I should. It's a good item. And then the nest of however you say that, wherein lay some magical gems. So more gems. And so that's basically it. We also got a new famous hero. So Satana, what did you get? Heroic Precision. Sorry, buddy, it's not very useful. Okay, now that we have conquered Formoria, Lanka and I are going to start dividing up lands. And what we're thinking is these mountains are probably going to be better for me because I can build temples in them, and I'll get some of the more kind of elite free spawn, which will be good to mix into my armies. All of this lowland that is around 5k province or population, we're probably going to give to Lanka, and then I'm probably going to keep this, even though technically, like in theory, because I get a 25 income debuff, it would be better to give all the income to Lanka and then have him send me gems. I mean, have him send me gold every turn. But that's pretty boring, and I don't think we want to do that. So, yeah, we're just not going to. But, you know, you could argue he should have it. Anyway, so what we need to do in the short run is we're going to contact another Daitengu, and I think we're going to use our Daitengu and our barbarians to patrol down this unrest, and everybody else we're going to get all the demons out, and we're going to try to get them up this way, and this is, I think, going to be my next demon pit. So you can see this one is starting to go on all cylinders here. We've got 360 unrest, and we've got our little research crew going away, and our little forge crew continuing to go. And yeah, as we get more and more of these guys, you can see we've got... Actually, we've stopped recruitment for a little bit, I think, as we're building infrastructure over here. We're going to have to kind of tone it down. But as we get more, we'll get a bit more unrest, and we'll get even more demons. But you can see we have a pretty big army here. And this is the army in response to kind of Agartha's comment that we're going to look to move up through here to potentially attack Abyssia. Yeah. So I think our goal is to get some very basic assassin counters online, and then once we have those, then hopefully... yeah, once we have the assassin counters, then we'll probably want to go ahead and make war with Abyssia and get them out of the game. Yeah. I think that's about it. Let me see if there's anything else we want to talk about this episode. I don't think so. Don't think so. So, without any further ado then, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.